Have you ever wanted to figure out really how to manage yourself through chaos?
Well, we have 5 steps to help you manage that chaos. You got chaos? Well, we've got some answers.
You know what? You got problems with your projects because they've been sitting around for a long time.
Too long.
Your office is probably struggling. You might have a schedule that's struggling.
Maybe you have a garage that's struggling.
Yeah, but you know what? Chaos does not have to stay, but you need to know what to do to be able to get through chaos. So that's what we're here to do today, is talk about what it is that you got to do to be able to get through chaos. Now, one of the first things that Kim and I like to call it, we call it our wish. And what's it stand for?
What I see happening.
And so what I see happening, let's pick the garage.
So when I have chaos, sometimes it's really easy to like walk out to the garage and go, holy cow, this is a disaster. What am I gonna do? And I get overwhelmed and I get kind of stressed out because I'm like looking at this messy garage or bedroom or kitchen, or it doesn't really matter what it is. It's just that overwhelm, like, holy cow, this is a huge project.
I know what else you do. I know what else you do. You think, when is Kirk gonna clean this up? It's somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
And when it's overwhelming, what do we usually do? We avoid it. Defer it or avoid it.
Exactly.
And then you know how you drive around your neighborhood and people's garages are open and you wonder how they put a car in there because they have so much stuff, right? Oh, well, they are missing step 1. Step 1 is what I see happening. So imagine that your garage is clean and organized and you can pull your vehicles in there and the garage doors can shut. Totally fine.
And this isn't just about chaos in the garage, though.
This applies to everything. We're just using garage
it's a simple thing
as an example that we could probably all relate on.
Yeah.
But number 1, you have to have an image in your mind or a visualization of like, what does this look like when it's finished?
Right.
When it's finished. Because motivation drops when the vision drops.
You can't see it.
When you can't see it, you can't have
You're not
motivation.
motivated. Exactly.
Well, you're not going to feel like you want to go clean it when you have no idea how it's going to look in the end. So pick what you want, how you want to see it happening of that garage or that project being able to be put together.
What I see happening.
And it's okay if you don't do anything right now with it, but you create the imagery. Because we lived in a house for, how long was our garage that way? Probably a good year and a half. You know when it was like totally jammed? Boxes clear to the ceiling.
Like we moved in and
we moved in.
Actually, but we didn't move in. We moved into the garage.
You move into the garage,
and
all
of our stuff stayed in the garage
but
forever.
I would stand in the garage and I look around and I go, you know, a car really could fit in here. And I could see these boxes all put away and they're all been sorted through and got rid of all the things you don't use. And so I remember practicing that, going, I want to have a garage that I can pull into and I can open the door of my vehicle and it doesn't hit something. Like you got space to get out of your car.
Yeah. And remember, this isn't about cleaning the garage. This is about the principles of chaos in life.
So you got to imagine and really practice that imagery over and over and over again without getting frustrated, without being disappointed.
Or without being irritated with people around you.
Yeah, because what people do is they go, yeah, I imagine my garage, but it's not that way, so it really disappoints me. No, you're not going to disappointment. You're not going to frustration. And this is something you got to change. Stop going to disappointment. Stop going to, what'd you say, irritation and frustration. You have to just practice seeing it the way you wish it would be. Now, the second step is super important, is now to take that idea and you got to break it down into at least 3 phases. At least 3 phases.
So like when I'm working on a project and it's big project, like a big chaotic project, if I walk out and look at that whole entire project and think one phase of from start to finish, like in one phase, I don't even want to start. But if I can break it down to, okay, first of all, I'm going to start with this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that. That helps me to feel like I can actually do it.
The mistake that people make is they think, okay, we need to clean the whole garage this weekend. And so they tell the family it's a one-time, one-shot, get it all done in one day. And then mom and dad and the kids start working on the garage, and they went into it with one phase: get in, get it done, get out.
And so then when you're at the end of the day of that particular, maybe it's
hold on, not even the end of the day. By the time you get to lunchtime,
that's true.
And you sit down. How many times have we seen this happen? You sit down at lunchtime, you eat your sandwiches, and then you start talking. You go, you know what?
How about we go out to lunch? How about we go to a movie?
Let's go to a movie. Let's don't do this. Because the only idea they had was do the whole thing.
And that's the only picture they had on their mind. And so it's, and then, not only do you not want to finish the project, but then you're bummed out and discouraged because you didn't finish the project.
So here's the 3 phases. Imagine 100%. The first phase is you're going to attack this project and you're going to do 20% of it. Second phase is the other 30%. Third phase is the other 50%. So you do 20% of the project, then you do 30% more of the project, then you do 50% of the project.
Because by the time you get to that 50%,
into threes.
You've built some momentum, and you can start seeing it, and you can start.
That's the word.
Like you're excited.
That's the word.
Getting it done.
That's the word. Momentum. You don't. If you're going to run, you don't start running and you go from 0 to full blast just like that. You start out and you build up speed, and then you're up to your top speed. And just like a vehicle, it doesn't go 0 to 100 in one burst, even though everybody wants that to happen, right? But it works its way up. But so when we approach chaos in our life, and we approach it like we're going to handle it at 100% in one move, we won't make it.
And it's discouraging, and then you drop the project, and then you move on, and you don't even finish it. You don't even start it because you're disappointed.
Yeah, and we have family and friends who keep asking us, how do you guys keep making so much progress? How come your yard looks good? How come your garage is clean? How come your offices are clean? How can you do these things? It's because we're doing these small percentages.
Yeah, and we
20%.
We see even just that small percentage, and that is when I get that 20% done, that's time for celebration.
And listen to this. What if I went to my kids and I said, hey kids, we're going to clean the garage, but we're only going to do 20% today? Well, first if I go, hey, we're going to clean the garage, the kids would go, no, I don't want to do that. And then I come up with, well, we're only going to do 20% of it. All right. And here's the 20%. And then we're done. Oh my gosh, okay, I could do that. See, even kids understand this principle. If it's 100% in one time, in one moment, you're going to burn your team out, burn your support system out.
What I find in this type of situation is, when you have the idea in your mind that you have to complete the entire project in one day or 1 week, if it's a really, really big project, the whole experience is so overwhelming that it actually, you don't go very quickly. But if you go into the project knowing, okay, I'm going to do this 20% and it's done, you actually can work faster. You work faster and more efficiently because you know that you only are doing that 20%. And then you get that 20% done, you feel good, you celebrate, and then you make the plan for the next phase.
You got to let go of the all or nothing experience, because you're probably sitting in the nothing zone and you got these chaos moments and chaos situations going on around you. But if you could think to yourself, you know whatever's happening here, I'm gonna really dive into this, and I'm gonna make 20% progress on this. That you can do, and that you can start soon, and that you can enroll people to join in and help you. So that's why you can build a support team, build a support system, like people believe in you, and they're like, yeah, you could do that, or you could actually have people help you. But if you don't know how it's gonna look in the end, and you don't break it down into at least 3 phases, you're gonna lose your support system and you're gonna lose your team.
Which is number 3. When you're organized with your chaos.
That's really what you're doing, is you're taking chaos and you're organizing how you're going to approach it.
So when you have a system and you have a plan, and then you involve the people around you, they are so much more willing to actually be a part of the project. So you gain that support, and then you actually gain a team that is willing to be involved and work with you on that project.
Okay, now to suggestion number 4 is to have a start and an end time. Because if you pick the day and you pick the start time, then everybody knows that you're literally being organized. Like Kim said, you're being organized in how you're approaching your chaos.
So
when you're going to
Saturday
start
at 8 o'clock.
and when you're going to end. If you want efficiency, you need to choose an ending time so people pick up the pace. But if you go, we're going to work on the garage, and your kids go, well, when are we done? Well, we'll be done when I decide we're done. Those kids are not going to go, wow, that sounds fun. Dad's just going to wear us all out until we all die and then we're done. But if you go, hey, we're going to attack 20% of the garage, we're going to start at 8, we're going to end at noon, and we're going to just conquer 20% of it.
And then you actually,
That's smart.
Because you have that deadline, that 8 o'clock till noon, you actually, and you want to get that 20% done, you actually work so much more quickly and more efficiently.
Everybody's got a target.
Yeah.
They've got a target for it.
It makes a huge difference.
And then this is the big one, number 5, is feeling it. Because when you go to step into chaos, whatever it is, and you're stepping into the chaotic moment, the chaotic garage, whatever it is, you're surrounded by disorder.
The chaos.
And it's got an overwhelming feeling to it because it's big and strong and it's unorganized.
And that's what you're seeing on your mind. That visual is so powerful because that is what you're seeing, and that chaos is what you're seeing. So it's so important to stay connected with how it's going to feel when it's finished.
Well, you need to check in and know that when you step into your big mess that you're going to work on, is that you're going to feel like you don't have what it takes to do it. The only way you can get past that is you keep talking yourself through that feeling of going, well, when this is done, it's going to feel amazing. When this is finished, I'm going to like being able to park my car in here. When this is organized, I'm going to feel so free, and it's going to be done. I don't have to worry about it anymore. But you got to walk yourself through that because the chaos has been there for a while. And the reason why you haven't approached it is because the chaos is bigger than you. So you break it down into 3. You see it how you want it to be when it's done. You have a team, you have a support system, you have a start date, you have an end date. You're going to do 20%, 30%, 50%. Then when you step into it, because you know this, when we step into a big project, you know how you go, oh my goodness. Because you start pulling stuff apart to put it together, and you're like, is this ever going to end? Is it ever going to end? But that's where you have to jump in and you feel it finished. Meaning you go,
see it and feel it.
You see it and you feel it.
See it and feel it.
Finished. But you've got to coach yourself all the way through it. And when you feel that overwhelm, you go, no, we got this.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to be. This is how we're going to do things. Now you can turn your chaos into levels of order. Have we not lived these principles over and over and over again?
We've had a lot of chaos and we've created a lot of order in our life.
And I remember our garage door was open one time, and some neighbors were walking by, and our neighbor across the street, they had their garage open too, and their garage was packed full of stuff. Just tons of stuff. And you couldn't even put a bike in their garage. And I remember these neighbors were walking down the street just like on a Friday night stroll, and they stopped and they looked at our garage and they went, hey, how'd you do that? Because they're looking around going, there's a lot of neighbors with jam-packed garages. They go, how'd you do that? And we're just standing there just like, we got this figured out.
It felt so good.
We so got this figured out. You don't attack it with 100%. You give yourself chunks. And remember, the first phase has to be simple and doable. That's why it's 20%. That's why you do just a little bit. Because it builds momentum.
You want to get a little bit of success under your belt.
Yes.
Because then you start realizing, I can do this. I can accomplish this. And I can get to a finish line. Even if it's not the 100% finish line, it's the 20% finish line.
And the project is, we're going to finish 20% of this.
Yeah.
And it's going to feel great. And then you do 30%, which inches you a little bit further, but that's building momentum. And when you start to complete a chaos situation and conquer it, you'll see that you can move on to another one and on to another one. Break it up into phases. It'll make a big difference. Good job getting yourself organized.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's your turn. Get yourself organized.
So what'd you think?
I thought it was awesome because it works in our life. You know what? I know you enjoyed the video, so go ahead and subscribe so you can receive more of our great videos that can be coming to you.
Speaking of great videos, we've got another video that's called The 3 Steps to Effective Time Management. Kind of fits into that, chaos situation.
Check that one out too.
Yeah, check that video out. You'll like it.
You'll love it.